Gretchen, stop playing. You know you said that. Please stop. Katie, girl. Katie. Just wow, girl. Wow. And Tamara, you still ain't shit.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
Okay, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. All right. The Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode 7. The truth will not set you free. That's the name of the episode. Wow, y'all. So we're still in New Orleans. Tamara left in a huff the night before. The ladies are all talking about it. I guess she didn't answer anybody's calls or anything. Heather says that she did try reaching out to her. Nothing positive came out of it. So Tamara's gone, but we know she's not really gone. So yeah. Anyway, they do their excursions. They end up going to this another alligator thing. I was like, didn't we just do this when you guys first got here? Shannon ends up getting there late, but I fell out. Shannon waking up late, getting herself together in the back of that damn van. When she was putting on those lashes, I was cracking up. Shannon, I love that you're transparent like that. I love that. I thought that was cute because this was kind of a this episode was very just full of liar face energy. So anyway, they go do that. They end up after the excursion going back to the rooms. This is when we learn that Gina ended up reaching out to the blogger that had mentioned about Katie going and sitting down with that Kiki Monroe lady and basically telling everybody's business and mentioning that Gretchen said she felt like she was roofied with the whole naked wasted thing with Tamara. It's also revealed that she went to the hospital the next day and got a tox screen and there were drugs in her system. I mean, anybody that watched that episode, she was drunk out of her mind. Something was wrong. I don't know if Tamara roofied her or anything like that, but she definitely was a mess. Go back and watch that episode if you haven't seen it. I think it was like season 3 or 4, 3, 4, one of those, 5 maybe. I don't know. One of them though. So they all go to dinner again, and Gina decides to bring this up to Katie. Here's the thing. Somebody had left a comment on one of my videos last week saying that they're tired of, or it just seems like it's a Katie witch hunt. It is a Katie witch hunt, but here's the thing: there's no witch hunt because we know who the witch is. This Katie has been lying since she got on this show. She lied all last season, and she appears to be lying the first 7 episodes of this season. So it's not a witch hunt. Katie, you're a pathological liar, baby, because the way you backtracked and told on yourself at the end of this episode, I was like, wow, this motherfucker right here she's off the chain. She might be worse than Tamara. Tamara's biggest flaw is the getting drunk and being horrible. Well, also being a shitty friend. Actually, no, Tamara's worse. But Katie, you stick to the lie, which is creepy. It's creepy that you stick to the lie like that. So anyway, Katie's like, so I just wanted, or Katie. So Gina's like, I just wanted to bring this up. I ended up calling that blogger, and he confirmed that you did sit down with Kiki Monroe and you did tell her that Gretchen told you that Tamara roofied her, or implied that she was roofied, blah blah blah. So Katie's like, no, I never said that. No, vacant look, no, I never said that. Girl, all you do is deny, baby. Girl, oh my God, this was making me mad, making me mad. So Gretchen is sitting there. Here's Gretchen. I'm gonna get your ass together too, because you pissed me off this episode as well. Because you're a lot and you dress horrible. What the fuck were you wearing at the end of the episode with that pink, looking like one of the fembots from Austin Powers? Girl, anyway, her and Stephanie from Miami. Just because you got money and wear labels doesn't mean you look good. Y'all look cheap and ridiculous, and you look like you stuck back in time. I digress. So Gretchen's sitting there and she's like, well, if this is a credible, journalist, why didn't they reach out to me? And Gina's like, because they knew that it was a lie. That's why they didn't print it or didn't say anything about it. Sorry, I just hit the stand. Sorry. And Gretchen, What kills me is so Gretchen flips it and she's like, I don't understand why you guys are all believing Tamara. She's proven to be a liar. Girl, why are you believing Katie? You don't even know Katie like that. Didn't you just meet her like last year or the year before? You don't know her. And I know you watched the show. All she did was lie last season. And this season so far. Come on. Here's my theory on Gretchen. Gretchen dislikes Tamara so bad that she wanted this. She wanted to get her. Gretchen, you know damn well you said that shit. And homegirl, who you clearly can't talk around, went back and told people that she never should have told. And it got back to the group any damn way. Katie, learn to lie better. You and your husband, because y'all are both. Katie, Tamara, and Gretchen, y'all are trifling like a motherfucker. Just a trifecta of trifling. Oh my God. So of course nothing gets resolved. Katie's deny, deny, deny. I didn't say anything. Girl, shut up. Shut up. There's something about people that lie. I have a big thing against liars and thieves. Like, the fuck is wrong with y'all? Anyway, um, so they leave New Orleans. We get back to Orange County, back to business per usual. And then we get to meet up with Tamara and her therapist. Let me tell you something. This shit is the most self-indulgent bullshit I've ever seen. Watching Tamara walk into that office and cry and boohoo, why is me? It just lets me. You're not interested in therapy, not like that. You're not interested in getting better and healing, because the first step to being better is admitting some shit to yourself. You can't admit to yourself that you're a lying ass piece of shit and you take zero accountability for everything. And it is frustrating to watch a motherfucker in their 50s act like this. This is crazy. So she sits with her therapist, tells the lady about what happened in New Orleans. She actually fixed her mouth and said, when I left and came home, nobody called to check up on me. They don't care about me. No, they don't. Just like you don't care about them. Tamara, you don't give a fuck about none of them women. You don't like any of them either. So for you to expect the same grace is wild. It shows how delusional you are. And this is another thing. You sit in there and you talk about how you were nervous and you took 2 Xanax and 2 drinks. Like, girl, you're grown enough to know that you don't mix those two together. And this is your excuse for your behavior. The reality was, do you really think somebody's going to sit around at a table with you while you're telling people to fuck off? Girl, grow the fuck up. Grow up. I am so tired of Tamara Judge. You are ridiculous. You are the most immature female I think on Housewives ever. Between you, Teresa Giudice, Leanne Locken, girl, the list goes on. The list goes on. You got a lot of nerve. And then for her to sit there and be like, well, it's just a lot from my childhood and my dad leaving my mom. Bitch, you're in your 50s. Who hasn't experienced some sort of trauma growing up? You grow the fuck up and you figure it out. You use the tools to be better. You don't want to be better. You want to sit around and have an excuse for bullshit. I am yelling and it's 7:30 in the morning. Let me calm down. It's just, I have a real pet peeve against adults who try to use trauma from growing up to justify their actions of today. That don't fly with me. That does not fly with me. Here's the reality. I met my biological father in my 30s. My mom and I were homeless when I was a kid. We lived in a car. I witnessed a murder at one point. I could go on about the shit that I went through, but I don't use that if I fuck up today. No, Asia fucked up today because she fucked up. It has nothing to do with the past. Tamara, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. And you're even extra pathetic. You're extra pathetic because your ass actually thought that Gretchen would believe you, number one, and that them ladies would call to check up on you after you insulted all of them at the table. Girl, shut up. Girl, bye. Get out of here. Oh my gosh, she gets on my nerves. She's ridiculous. No wonder you got issues with your kids. Look how you fucking act. Look at you. And it's crazy because this is who you are. You've been doing this for so long on TV. This is who you are. So be like Ramona Singer and have your 15th. Be like Ramona with the umpteenth new beginnings party. Because, girl, that's you every season. You're always going through something, going through some new spiritual. I'm trying to be better. Girl, shut the fuck up. You're fake as fuck. You're pathetic and you're low vibrational. And you always will be. Nothing about you is changing. Something drastic would have to happen to humble your stupid ass for you to change. and I'm done with you now. Good night. Oh my God. Anyway, so we get to Emily and Shane and this whole scene with her son, and he's autistic and they're just navigating it. This was an interesting scene because Emily is very emotional about the whole thing and blames herself, and of course Shane takes a more logical approach. I'm more of a Shane in this situation because I would think crying about it isn't going to help. We got to be strong for our son. But I also understand where Emily's coming from, and I also get that she wants Shane to be, warmer and softer with it, but you married him. He's not warm and soft. So, this was a good scene cuz I understand both of them, but my thing is you guys are great parents. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. She's probably helping a lot of people by even showing this. So, I'm here for it. I appreciate the transparency from Emily and Shane. I appreciate it. Um, that Tamara shit made me mad. Okay, so Heather, Gretchen, and Jen all go meet up at some bar. This was an interesting scene. So they're talking about Tamara, the whole Katie stuff. This scene was interesting because Gretchen, you full of shit too, boo. You are full of shit as well. I like you, Gretchen, but you are full of shit. You in them terrible fashions. She showed up at a bar in a fur. We're in California. At what point do you? I'm from California. When do you need to wear a fur? You live in Southern California. You don't. You don't. At what point do you need a fur in Southern California? Anyway, okay, girl. This isn't Big Bear. This isn't Mammoth. This isn't Castaic. Anyway, so I was just like, she's so ridiculous. You wear a wedding gown to the grocery store. Shut up. So I probably would too though. So anyway, so they're talking about this whole situation with Katie, and Gretchen basically says in this scene that she kind of feels like maybe, in so many words, is getting played by Katie. You are. You are. The reality is you knew that she didn't like Tamara and there was tension there. So you thought you would join forces with her. I know the game. I've been watching reality TV long enough to know how this goes. What's wild though is Gretchen, you said that shit. You know you said it. You know you said it. You said it. So Jen missed, Jen is fucking Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder to the bullshit. She's a trip. She of course is like, I don't remember her saying that. I was sitting at the table. She never said that. She never mentioned anything about being roofied or whatever. Okay, Jen, because you're not credible either. But so Gretchen is now wondering like, should she address Katie? Yeah, you might want to address yourself and figure out why you keep blowing with the wind with these ladies. Go with your gut and stick with that. Stop trying to join forces with bitches that are super messy as hell. Um so they do all that. The last scene, one of the last scenes in this episode, this was a very eye-opening scene for me. So Katie, we get to Katie and her husband at the house. They sit down, they're having a little cocktail time, and they're talking about everything. Katie's talking about what happened, and she's talking about how this blogger, the Kiki Monet, whatever, the roofing, the whole nine. She's like, she says that she heard Gretchen say that at the table, and so she asked her husband, like, basically, am I tripping? Did he not, did she not say that? Didn't Slade mention it? He goes, well, he did. Her husband confirms this Slade did mention something, and basically so did Tamara. So here's what's wild. So in this, I'm sitting there watching this scene. So I'm like, so wait a minute. So Katie, you sat in New Orleans on two separate occasions at two different dinners and lied to these ladies and said you never said that. But then in this scene with your husband, you are now confirming that Gretchen did say something. Your husband's saying she says something. The Slade says something. And then now in your confessional, you're trying to flip it and go, you're trying to flip it on Tamara and Jen. Jen was there. She heard it. You a grimy ass bitch. For real. You grimy and you're fake and you're gross. And it seems like you just want to be famous and be on TV. Girl, we know what happens to fame whores. So I hope you're prepared for that. I really do. You sat in this scene and you admitted that you heard the shit and you repeated it. You repeated the shit. You're crazy. Katie, you're crazy. And your husband's crazy too. And the fact that your son was in the room, why are you talking to your son about these ladies too? Just like it's so funny. Because now it confirms that all the shit last season, you said that shit too. And it's obvious your kids repeated the shit. Girl. Yo, it's nothing more infuriating watching a bunch of middle-aged women on some high school shit. It's fucking embarrassing. I'm catching secondhand embarrassment from the bullshit. Katie, you're a trip. You are. You know what's funny? This is going to be an interesting reunion because how are you going to spin this bullshit? It's funny. You know what? Like the old saying goes, you let somebody talk long enough, they're going to tell on themselves. Anyway, the episode ends. Actually, the episode doesn't end there. I'm wrong. I actually had the scenes flipped. The episodes actually end with Gretchen and all of them at that bar. Yeah, Gretchen, Katie's not your friend. But the reality is, I don't think you're Katie's friend either. You were friends with her because a friend of an enemy is a friend of mine. You were cool with her because her beefing with Tamara, and look where it got you. I mean, you're on the show, you got something to talk about, but really? Anyway, work on that last reunion look. You look like a rejected Barbie with the not reunion, confessional look. Girl, what was going on? This episode pissed me off. It's just a lot of lying and deflecting. A lot of lying and a lot of deflecting. Katie, you talked to the blogger. You repeated what you heard. Own it. Own it and move on. But at this point, in the words of Judge Marilyn Milian, I wouldn't believe you if your tongue came notarized. Anyway, that was the episode. I'm annoyed. But happy Friday. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Looks like we're over these storms here in Maryland. So let's get this last little bit of heat in. I'm tired of the summer. I'm ready for the fall. Let's get to Halloween, loves. Halloween. Anyway, stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. And let me get out of here, go run to work, and then return these motherfucking videotapes.